Hello, it's the Randy Duck and welcome back for another video. And today we have a special guest replay with the one and only Petty360. Yes, that's right, it's our good friend Petty, and he's here today playing the Tier 10 Soviet heavy premium tank, the Object 279E. Now, yes, if you haven't, if you're not already following Petty's channel, then I recommend giving him a follow because he's a terrific guy. He's a good friend and he does great content. So I've linked his description to his channel I've linked his channel to the description of my video, I should say. So if you've never played the Object 279E, then it is a tank which has some very troll armour if you don't know how to penetrate this tank. You know, you've got a very sloped hull, and if you're sort of using a sort of the right ridge to try and increase the slope as much as you can, it can be very effective and you can bounce a lot of shots. However, this is the tank which also can be a bit of a walking ammo rack, because this tank does get ammo racks here more than any other tank I've known. This heavy tank, I've ammo racked this tank a few times. I'm sure you have seen this turret come off this tank a few times as well, but Petty has a very decent game in it today, and thankfully he's given us this replay to us today for us to be able to show off. So he's on Kasserine, where there is one enemy artillery, one little fun police he's got to contend himself with, and two enemy light tanks. But he's pushed up on the right hand side here, and straight away he's managed to get into a situation where he can shoot a few tanks, which have been spotted by his friendly light tank on the right hand side. So he's trying to make this 440 alpha gun to work. He's trying to get a little cheeky shot on that heavy tank there. He seems a little bit frustrated he missed that shot, but he is going to get another opportunity to shoot this G-Saw, which he does, slapping him there, putting him up to 2 penetrations and putting him to 841 damage here. And yeah, so far so good. He's got targets to shoot. He's held down the artillery. He's not looking at him, which is good. And it's actually going to be quite difficult for the enemy team to pen him, especially over distance here. And you can see where he's using this sort of ridge here to increase the slope of his armour. Unless you know where to pen this tank, and unless you're firing at distance and you've got heat shells, so you're not going to lose penetration drop off, this tank can be very difficult to pen. But you can see he's bouncing shells here, already blocked sort of just shy of 2,000 damage here. Trying to get as much damage out as he can. This poor heavy tank is a little bit surrounded. He does put a shot in, putting myself onto 1,500 damage. He does finally get penetrated here, but this poor heavy tank's not going to last very long. He's surrounded by multiple vehicles. He's already up to about 2,000 damage. He's looking to try and get the finish here. Unfortunately, he gets shut down just before Petty can pull the trigger. But there is another tank now which is available to shoot here, and this is going to try and get a nice juicy shot in there. I believe he actually sets him on fire, and that puts him on to 2,400 damage, and actually picks up a little bit of assistance as well for good measure. And his team is starting to dominate this game. As you can see, it's now 14 versus 9. This obviously is an earlier replay, which is before it introduced the hit point pool at the top, so we don't know how many hit points enemy team have remaining or what percentage of hit points they are. He gets a lovely juicy shot into that enemy back chat there, and you can see he's looking to try and track him in place, to try and get a bit more maybe track assistance, and also just hold him there so he can try and get some shots in. Finishes off to E100. Now he's going to push straight through into this poor little tier 8 heavy tank there. It's going to be very, he's going to struggle to deal with Petty, if I'm honest. He's still got sort of majority of his hit point pool, and he's just walking along, just destroying what's in front of him, putting him on to about 5,000 damage now, with 2,000 blocked and 6 enemy tanks remaining. There's an enemy medium tank to his left. The enemy back chat here puts one in, putting him onto a 2-shot to him now. And yeah, can he land another shot before this back chat gets taken out? He can, and he also tracks him in place there, so should potentially pick up a bit more track assistance here as well. It looks like he's has repaired the track though, but not in time for Petty to slap him again, putting him onto a 1-shot, and put Petty onto about, what, just shy of 6,000 damage now, with 3 kills and 5 enemy tanks remaining. 3 of which are sort of still towards the enemy base. And other tank watch the only artillery as well. And Petty's just going to try and turn around though, because he's spotted a full health Super Conqueror, which is good news, because Petty can try and get some more damage. He's already had a decent game, but this Super Conqueror's got a lot of hit points to take care of. Super Conqueror does face hug the Petty here, but you can see the Super Conqueror, you can actually pen the turret ring there as well. So yeah, if you are ever getting face hugged by a Super Conqueror, that's somewhere you can penetrate it. Now the little vigilante tries to come round and jump a clip into Petty. Thankfully he doesn't have enough pen to actually pen him, otherwise that could be nasty. But Petty is getting slapped about by the artillery, which is not nice. Hopefully he can bounce a shot off his Super Conqueror so he doesn't actually finish him off, and give Petty enough time to get the kill there, which he does, putting Petty on to 8,000 damage with 4 kills. And 3,600 blocked with, about 600 assistance as well for good measure. But only 2 tanks remaining, one of which is the enemy Fun Police, which you can see spotted down there in the sort of the E1 line, now just got shut down. And there is one enemy tank remaining. Well, we don't actually know where he is, but Petty sort of obviously got a hunch that he's probably hiding out at the sort of A9 area, so he's going to try and push down there and see if he can get there before his team to try and get a bit more damage out of this game. Hopefully this last remaining tank, if he's able to find him, he can either spot him, get a bit of assistance, or hopefully he's full health so he can try and get some damage. Obviously Petty is a one shot, but let's face it, it's very, very unlikely that the enemy tank is going to pull this off. He's probably just going to do the usual and try and hide at the end of the game. Which I suspect is what's happening. His friendly team are on the cap circle, so this game is going to be a win in 2 minutes regardless. But he's just trying to hunt down this tank because obviously he wants to just try and top this up. But he has had a really nice game with 8,000 damage, 3,600 assistance, like I say, and 4 kills, which should definitely be enough for an ace tanker. And you can see he's got his little googly eyes on the front of his tank here as well. But yeah, it's not looking like he's going to be able to find this tank, unfortunately. And I suspect, at this point, Petty's thinking, oh, we're going to get capped out. Why? I want to try and get some more damage. But then the tank does get spotted. It is this enemy light tank. He looks to try and pull the trigger, and he gets shut down by the enemy, his friendly T92, before he's able to pull that, get that kill there. But there you go. That's the end for the replay. So there you go. If you do like my channel, please remember to like and subscribe. It really helps the channel out. Also, go and take a look out at Petty's channel. I'm sure you're already following Petty, but he does some very, very good replays and reviews of the new vehicles as well. So thanks for your support and happy tanking.
Enemy in sight. Hadouken!